The difference between us is that I can feel pain.
Sounds like a real boogeyman. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy.
There's someone else in the hotel with us. There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms.
It's got a death curse.
This isn't science. It's more like black magic.
Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test process.
Good. Hello, my Night Owl friends, and welcome to a very special episode of Pumpkin Hill Radio. My name is Travis Wormwood, and with me, as always, is Dawson Trailer.
Yeah, baby.
Pumpkin Hill Radio, we cover esoteric phenomena, paranormal mysteries, true crime once in a while. We're doing a whole Avatar series. We will teach you how to bend the elements to your will by the end of this episode, I think. That's basically what we do.
Got to
here.
master the elements.
From aliens to the Bible, which is still aliens, and everything in between. We dig into all that. We
True
are every Tuesday. True crime one time.
True crime once?
True crime one time.
Maybe again?
Maybe again. Let us know. Tell us
Yeah.
what you want to hear, and we will do that for you. pumpkinhillradio@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Tell your friends about us. Tell your friends to rate us yourselves, and check us out on video. Doss, we got a lot to cover today. I don't want to add all this fluff up top. People know what to do. Patreon members, I want to say what's up to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We are on the road to 100, so
we're getting close.
just prepare for episode 100. I'll batten down the hatches for that's going to be a huge one.
It'll be
Until
massive.
then, I did just want to say thanks to all of our Patreon members, paying and free members. You get a lot of bonus content on there, so
Yep.
Consider joining. Before we get into the big show today, which is airbending in its simplest form, I guess. In every form, really, but we have a lot to cover. It's going to be kind of all over the place as far as from the gods to the chakras to the ways to manipulate it to the different martial arts that might be involved. Because we're kind of in the middle of, we did our spontaneous human combustion episode, which to me felt like a firebending gone wrong type thing.
Yeah. Or right.
Or right. Some of them were hitting.
Maybe someone, I don't know.
If it was like a divine fire taking them to the great beyond, then perhaps it was the exact right.
Someone
move for them.
teleported in and
Zap
just
them.
blast them.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
So, and also we've done a lot of Bible study recently, and that's all great, but
Yeah, it was like 3 in a row, though.
we're not it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for humoring us for that. I did just want to get, those ones seemed important to do in order, I guess, just to kind of teach about that early spiritualist movement. And it all kind of folds in together. I mean, by the end of it, we were talking about the Desert Fathers and this kind of ancient shamanistic desert thing. And all that goes into like this elemental
once
study.
you get into one, it's hard not to just like carry it into like another thing. Because we always just like, once we find something, we just go into the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just follow it until we're like, all right, we got to move.
Yeah, we're hot on the trail.
Got to get into something else.
Hot on the trail.
Got to get into airbending.
Speaking of hot on the trail, it's
Yeah.
hot AF out right now, Dawes.
Oh my God, cooking.
I don't know. Anything horror this week?
Oh shit. Not, I don't know. Gotta have a pitcher plant.
Yeah, we've been
feeding it bugs.
Yeah, I've been
It's
seeing you
crazy.
feed bugs to your plant. That's cool.
It's really cool.
I appreciate any plant that eats meat.
Yeah. I go out on my porch and find some bugs.
It's like a
Bring them in
reverse,
with like my little pliers, and
reverse vegetarian thing.
yeah, it's sweet.
I will say to definitely come to the video this time. We are back in the studio that I built out, and on the VHS player today, on the Tube TV, we have the Wacky World of Animals playing. So,
I'll tell you what, these are some pretty wacky animals.
Yeah, you're not going to want to miss this.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, I think we got enough to cover where we can just jump into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. Well, let's just open up the floor here. Like I said, we're kind of talking about different elemental studies.
Yeah.
It really started with our How to Walk Through Walls episode, I think, is kind of where we started it off with, where we were looking at this patent to walk through walls, which had like chakras aligned to it. And
the energy vortex.
yes, it seemed to be folding in some like ancient mysticism into some like military grade like testing, basically.
Yeah.
And we found, from there, it seems like we found that the fire chakra, this like solar plexus thing that we got going on, is where like your fire chakra lives, I guess. This and we started that, and now I just wanted to jump onto the air thing.
Yeah.
And we'll probably cover all of them at some point. Let's just okay, I'm just gonna start off with some stuff here. I guess we can.
What do you got?
Breath links body and spirit.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like
Definitely.
that's like it's this like you're taking something in, pushing something out at all times. It's probably the biggest like flux of like energy and like.
Well, it's, if you think too, like, cause we breathe what? We breathe air. That's like this stuff. It's everything. We're like surrounded in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be something. That's like what gives us life.
Mm-hmm. That's what.
So when you can like really control that, get into it. It's like you're amplifying that life giving force basically.
Yeah, chi means breath. I think people think chi means a lot of things, or like, you know, some like high energy, like spiritual stuff. It just means breath, which then can be taken to mean a lot, obviously. But
you do a lot with the breath.
Yeah. So yeah, breath links the body and the spirit. It kind of meshes those two things together. In Hindu systems, the heart chakra is what seems to be this like air sign chakra. It's called the Anahata. It governs air, right? It's associated with the pranic current Vyana, which regulates motion and circulation. Breath practices like pranayama activate this flow. So we also in Hebrew we have something called the Rosh. In Greek we have the Pneuma. Latin we have the Spiritus. It's breath and spirit are the same in a lot of these cultures. It kind of like it is this thing that you're taking in. It's constantly like changing you, but it is like it seems like like
it makes sense because like when you die, the like most noticeable thing is you're not breathing. Like if someone like looks like they might be dead, you check their breath.
Mm-hmm. It is life. It is life. It's
everything. Yeah.
It seems to be the most like pertinent to life.
Yeah.
You just need it immediately and all the time. We also have this. There's this like something called the CIA gateway process, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah.
But the CIA's gateway process describes the human body as an energy field and links breath control to altered states and astral projection. Mm-hmm. The heart chakra has been seen as this like the balancing vortex there, which I believe you need to rotate. I think it's counterclockwise, this one, which doesn't make any sense if you haven't listened to the other ones. But the How to Walk Through Walls was talking about how you're trying to manipulate these chakras like manually, like not just having them run on like auto or whatever. Which to some degree mean these are apparently like spiraling like vortexes of energy that are like points in your body. Yeah, and it's about like grabbing those and spinning them the correct way, which is either clockwise or counterclockwise. And we'll get into like that whole system at some point. Maybe not even in this episode again, but that seems to be like. Right, like with the spontaneous human combustion, it's like they were rotating their solar plexus like chakra, like in a way that like activated this thing. Opened it up. Right, with the How to Walk Through Walls, it was a lot of like it was water based and it was talking about how like the human is made out of water, and this water molecule is the blank is like the like it's like what is built from the water molecule. You can like step out of 3D space basically just based on the weight of the water molecule, like with the tempo you're moving and all these moving parts. Doesn't really matter for this episode, but we're just trying to pinpoint like what the chakra is that you need to use for this one. I think you need to use all of them for each element in some way. But I
think that's kind of like the being able to like really use these elements and like control your own like part in it. Mm-hmm. And to like connect with it on that like intense like magical level, you probably need to like have pretty much entire control of all your chakras. Yeah, and then you like adjust them accordingly. Which I don't even know where to begin to start doing that.
Yeah, well, that's what we're trying to do. We're right on the cusp of possibly understanding one thing.
Because I was watching Dragon Ball Z, and Gohan teaches Fidel how to fly.
Wait, did you say Fidel?
Well, yeah.
It's Vidal with a
Fidel.
I like Fidel.
I like Fidel Castro.
Yeah. That's funny.
But like when he's teaching her how to fly, the way he like explains it's kind of this kind of shit where you just gotta charge your chi, control it, and then you just like can fly.
Yeah, they do that in Dragon Ball Z where the Saiyan does teach just a straight up human how to fly, which is that always made me feel like I gotta be doing this. I
could probably do that then.
And I'm pretty sure like there's some monks out there that are doing that, right? I don't know if anybody's just straight up launching off into space. I don't know. I don't know.
They're probably real secret about it.
But I think that there is some form of like levitation there at least, like where you're like floating at least a few feet off the ground. That also digs into like, I mean, we were talking about like gravity before the pod, and it's like a lot of this because you're talking about like using almost like force type moves, like Star Wars. You're like kind of that manipulation of matter almost seems to be more like, I don't know, like where air and gravity fits in. We were also just saying gravity's only a theory, and
well, because I don't know, if you can fly, you're kind of like just you're like breaking the laws of physics a little bit as we know it.
As we know it. Yeah.
As we know it. You know what I mean? It's like, it might be possible.
Like, yeah, we
because if our whole idea of what gravity is just like not entirely true, like if there's like more to it than what we realize in like the theory of gravity, then it's like, so like that's the one that like makes the most sense, I guess. But it's like if that's not exactly it,
I mean,
and you can like control and change your like own density. If it is density, then it's like that might have something to do with like the breath. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
There's also like, what would it be? I might have just lost that train of thought. I know on the quantum level, like everything in gravity breaks down. Like all of our known science like breaks down, and the quantum level is just as real of a place as like that's very small, minute spot is just as real as everything else. It's really just what everything is built out of, right? So I think it's okay if we just kind of say fuck gravity for a little while here. We also have so there's holotropic breath work, which induces altered states. We have the Wim Hof method, which we might get into later. It's the oxygenation and cold exposure. These are all different like conscious breath work to induce non-ordinary states. I think because breath is that tool for energetic and like perceptual shifting magic. And it all has to do with that, like taking in that air, that chi, right? Breath is the one. It's the one act that bridges the body and spirit. I'll say it again. It's both involuntary and controllable. It's natural. It's kind of at that like cusp of like natural. It feels like fucking magic. It's definitely like this like religious act where like you can channel your breath work into that. It becomes this whole like esoteric system that you can work with. Breath is like, it is the symbol for life. It also just is life, right? It is this thing. So I think when you're dealing with that kind of like that high level of a chakra, you need to be like pretty sure yourself. I feel like one wrong move in this shit, and you're gonna accidentally fucking implode yourself or something. Like,
because you gotta be like so in tune with your body, because that's like what connects you with like your actual like vessel. It's like you sit there and you breathe a little bit, you focus on it,
ground yourself.
You know, it's like, all right,
immediately
your whole different sensations in your body than when you're just like kind of mindlessly breathing because you like have to.
And
so like focus on something, you know what I mean?
In Qui-Gon and Tai Chi, practitioners use coordinated breath, posture, and movement to direct internal energy. That's your Chi. And then certain advanced techniques such as Lin Kong Jin, that's the empty force. That's to push or redirect opponents without physical contact. That's where you get into this like supernatural shit, which I've said so many times, even with Tai Chi, where it's like you're feeling that space outside of yourself and you're manipulating that, and you're putting your energy that you focus from your internal self, extend it as far as you can until you're extending it past your physical barrier. And that
it's like those videos of people like moving bricks. Like they'll have like a line of bricks up and they'll like hit it with their blast, you know, and it just like knocks them over. Or like water bottles and shit.
There's all kinds of that. Yeah. People will set up like tinfoil and shit and be like whipping
maybe
it
they're
around.
faking it, but
and those ones seem like it's tough. I know we said it last time too. It's like me and Dawson see thousands of videos that we don't send each other.
Yeah.
But once in a while, we'll send each other videos where we're like, this shit seems.
I don't think they're faking it.
Yeah, there's some videos where it's just like a dude standing in a field, and it's just, and I don't know. It's like maybe they just recorded it 500 times that day, and it just matched up perfectly. But god damn it, like I sometimes
it's starting to look pretty good though.
Yeah, like the way that like the leaves will move around them, exactly how they're like shifting their posture.
Yeah, and then like in the direction that they're going and stuff.
And then even today, it's like we were talking with one of the friends at the bar about like connecting with plants and stuff, and that might be more of like a earth bending type thing. I don't really know, but it's like that like calling. It seems like plants will like just literally reach out to you if you are able to call out to them.
If you can just speak to them, connect with them,
and like stop things from moving. She was saying that she was standing in like a field of cattails, and like she focused on one, and like that one just stood completely still while the breeze like took the rest of them.
Well, it's something because that's another one. You like see videos and then I'm like, I'm gonna like try this. And when it like happens, you're like, all right, there's like something going on.
It's also
here.
it's so easy to see something and be like, nah. It's like,
These are guys.
Go stand outside with.
Obviously, that's fake. It's like, well, go try.
Like go have.
So now I'm starting to just try to like airbend a little bit. I'm gonna try to airbend a little bit. I'm gonna get it down.
Well, I know me and you trying to like we channel our chi enough. We do like I'll sit there building some like aura balls basically. Yeah, dude. And I feel like that's like the start of something, right? But it's so easy to be like, nah, it's fake. It's like, we'll just go out there and do it without this like pessimistic mind.
Yeah, like it's fake.
Yeah, don't go out there because then it's not gonna work.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, well, maybe it's actually the coolest thing ever. It's like the secret that we forgot. We have that ability to like be that connected with nature, like super easily too. Like you can just go out and do that. Sick.
And even what's the worst that could happen? You're just gonna go stand in the sun for a while.
You might feel like silly, be like, well,
it's all right. The human existence is silly.
Yeah, everything you do is silly, man. You ever go poop?
More on Lin Kong Jin. We'll get into that later, Dawes. So demonstrations include controlled air displacement and subtle body motions perceived as energetic projections. We also have Aikido, where practitioners use circular motion to redirect an opponent's force and create a sensation of being thrown by the wind, right? These techniques, they rely on this controlled balance and this breath, this like spatial awareness and like knowing the movement of things. And that basically is like this physical form of energy manipulation that becomes, I think, at advanced levels, I think it becomes this like out of body thing. This thrown by wind, this empty force, right? Also, so I just like breath as a force in like rituals in general. In Tibetan Bon and the Vajrayana practices, practitioners project syllables and mantras with forceful exaltation, right? You're just like saying, you're just like chanting to dispel spirits and create protective barriers. There's like all these shamanistic traditions of like powerful exhalations of like this like throat singing to cut or manipulate the environment. It's like it becomes
even just like speaking.
Yes.
Is like that singing, speaking is like just the breath.
Cursing.
You're just using breath, you know what I mean? Like
you're using like that life force to
there's whole art forms around it. Like poetry, fucking singing, whatever it is, you know.
Right. And it can be
whistling,
taken
all that shit.
So surface level and just like reading and you're like, okay, there it is. But if you see it in this more magical sense where you're literally charging these spells with your like life force. It's like if
throwing it at people into their consciousness where they're taking it in and getting the idea that you're like projecting onto them, basically.
And if you're a little more tapped in, like that's like gonna straight up just start like incepting shit to people. And there's a deeper meaning.
You can do that for sure. Like people do. Can feel people doing that to me sometimes. I'm like, what the hell? What are you trying to make me think about?
And that's like same with like curses and shit.
Yeah,
you know? It's like they are powerful like that.
Well, you can use it for good and bad. You know, and for your own personal gain or for whatever, help people.
Same goes for like infrasound. Anytime like the weather comes in and these like deep tones that humans can't even hear just seem to like go across the land. You feel that your hair sticks up on end. All the fucking birds fly away.
Yeah, the animals freak out.
The animals know.
They know what's going on.
The animals know.
They know what it means. We feel it and we're like, I'm anxious today. But it's like, no, it's the infrasound making you fucking bug out.
We also have like banshees. They do this like wailing, this like death breath that is this like just this crazy curse that comes out through the air.
Yeah. And that's like the death whistle and shit too. Like you like blow this whistle and it's like just paralyzes you basically in fear because that's terrifying. Takes away any of your like confidence and force because you're like, oh, I'm gonna die right now.
And then in the book of Ezekiel, angels come and they appear in these like storming winds, and they're also accompanied by these like flying wheels.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's like I'm trying to draw a line when like what is and isn't air, like magic in a way. But I think that's like a part of maybe this episode is just figuring that out. Because like entities like Raphael and like Uriel, those are Uriel, those are associated with air and healing and like this like stormlight kind of thing. And those definitely are like some like high elemental movements, right?
Yeah.
And And then Solomonic demons, they described as appearing in air currents and causing violent winds. I mean, with the last episode, that St. Anthony episode, when we were talking about this guy that was having this out-of-body, like, astral projection thing, and he was seeing these, like the air wasn't empty. It was, like, full of these spirits. It was, like...
things everywhere.
There was these, like, angels holding him up, and these demons trying to pull him down, and, like, I'm sure a whole mess of other forces that because he had the lens of Christianity on, he wasn't seeing, but it's, like, there's probably these Djinn, which we'll get into later, because I've also often referred to Djinn as just these fire spirits, and they are. But they also have, like, specific elements tied to them. They can be from different parts of time, right? There's a whole, like, section of, like, air elements, spirits, little critters from, like, Greek and Roman mythology. That seem, I think they're just kind of floating around in the air with us. Yeah. And you're, like, taking in, like, by breathing.
Well, that's like, the book I'm reading is, like, basically all about that. Mm-hmm. It's, like, space is filled with them, but it's, like, they're kind of all over the place all at once. And it's, like, if you're not, like, in tuned enough, you just won't see it, but like if you can kind of catch glimpses of it if you're like trying to.
Yeah. Well,
it's like that little like thing in the corner of your eye. It's like that's the fucking spirits, air spirits, man.
There's these shamans in the Amazon and like the Andes Mountains that do this thing called they say they walk the wind, and it's just where they're like aligning their breath and their body with specifically like storm energy is what they're saying, and they basically like have. What it says is that they have what it seems to be is like direct influence over like atmospheric like behavior, like on a large scale, like a rain dance. Or like, you know.
Well, also I don't know. Okay, this might sound dumb as a question, but it's like where does the wind come from?
Yeah, man.
What makes the wind happen?
It's like they say it's like pressures, right? It's like
what's doing that? You know what I mean?
God forces, basically.
Yeah. So, like these shaman in the Amazon.
Oh, let's take it back to like way to bring it to the basics, Doss.
Hit me with
I want to make sure nobody thinks that we're like too intelligent about this.
No.
I also want to ask, where does the wind come from? And is it
because I know it's like pressure, but it's like where does that come from though?
So I've been reading a lot of. It seems like the Djinn are exerting it.
It seems like there's like wind spirits, making that happen.
Like I feel like maybe these Amazonian shamans are doing it.
Yeah, I think
seems like they're doing a lot of direct energy manipulation. That also gets into. I mean,
there's like what the weather machines are. They're like cloud seeding. It's just fucking these shaman doing rain dances in the mountains and shit. That's
we were sending each other back and forth videos of like cloud bursting and cloud seeding.
Right,
which seem to be two different devices, but you can also do them psychically. I was seeing like devices covered in crystals and copper, basically. With clouds, and like there's like time lapse, and it is like they're in the middle of a desert, and fuck me if a ton of clouds don't just start appearing. At like a very fast pace, fast pace, and it just doesn't seem to be like an edited video.
No, it's like, okay, maybe they like saw the forecast or something, but it's like, I don't know, man.
Even just like to align it perfectly with like, just like the way that it was sitting in frame. Like there's the machine there and then the sky is there. And it's like in the far off, it's still like just like deep blue desert dry. Like, but it's kind of right above it. It's like literally accumulating. It's very odd.
Like they just kind of come out of nowhere.
And then there is the same thing with like YouTube videos and shit of people just staring at a cloud and basically just like eliminating it. Like it it just evaporates out.
Same thing with like the crystal things too. Like there's like clouds and they like pop like the like chemtrail clouds and stuff where there's like these like weird like hazy clouds. They just like pop that out there and it's like dissipates.
It's bizarre.
Like, well, what?
And I know, and it's like people are like, no, it's not true. It's like, well,
yeah, it's another one of those things where I'm like,
government definitely has these. Like the quote unquote government definitely has these like technologies. We can see it in like I spoke about it a few episodes ago. That woman that's like currently she does all this like radar like weather tracking, and it's all very scientific.
Like they're just clearly they're like open about it too. It's not even like
see.
Like when I was looking it up, like it's like the conspiracy theory of cloud seeding and chemtrails, and I'm like, but you like look it up more, and it's like that there's literally like they admit to doing it. It's not like a theory. It's just what's happening.
Yeah, and they can like sell.
It's just what's happening, and there's like news. You can watch like news articles, people talking about it in like Congress.
Yeah,
like, we're gonna do this.
You can like, sell that to anybody. That can like create famines or droughts or fucking windfalls of rain, and like
and that's the thing too is like there's like billionaires that are like, we gotta like cover up the sun to help with like climate change and stuff. And it's like, well, we don't know the consequences of that.
Mhm.
Like maybe climate change is like what's supposed to be happening. You know what I mean? Like maybe just like trying to stop it from changing is like gonna make it way, way, way worse.
I also think anybody that wants to block out the sun is a vampire.
Yeah, you're a monster. The
All right.
sun's good for me.
I'm gonna change the video. The Wacky World Animals was a 26-minute feature.
That was a good one. Let's get a new one in here. Mysteries of Deep Space.
Yeah,
Moon landings?
let's
Yeah,
put
the
the
moon
moon
landing.
landings in there. I'm gonna let you
Nice.
take care of that.
There it is. Yeah, you're holding the mic.
If my audio sounds strange today, it's because I don't have a mic stand and I'm just holding the damn thing. I don't mind it. It feels. I mean, people hold the mics all the time. On
Yeah,
stage and stuff.
I think
is
it is
fine.
a pretty decent
Dude,
fit.
when's the last time you put a VHS in a television?
Dude, it's really
You like that
nice.
feel? Kind of pulls at it.
Really nice.
All right, so you definitely want to come to video because as I was explaining to Dawson, we got this Mysteries of Deep Space Reader's Digest presents VHS from I believe the 90s, and the graphics are really nice and retro. And then every
Put the
person.
moon landing.
Oh,
in
you
it.
put the moon
I
landing.
put
one
moon
in.
landing in.
Okay, great. Well, this will be fun too. The Deep Space one is funny though because all these scientists in the 80s are the ugliest fucking people imaginable. I know they're geniuses, but it's like holy fuck.
Super nerds, man.
We're like,
Just before nerds knew how to like get hot.
how do you not absorb any amount of like cultural like reference points to be any amount of good looking? It's
No.
crazy. Anyway, we do have the Apollo moon landings on the
This is good.
live from the surface of the moon right here. Yeah, so this
Yeah,
is
we're
great.
filming live. We're filming live from the moon totally for real.
Super weird. This might change the whole episode.
Yeah, dude. I got me questioning the moon landing again. I don't question it. It just didn't happen. What is going with? I'm going with that.
Across all these systems, though, these like from this like Zulu rainmakers to these Amazonian like shamans and stuff, air is it's like not approached as this. It's like this responsive thing. It's like a responsive thing that they seem to be, and they know of this. Like it seems like it's something
Yeah.
that can like respond to your actions. It can be directed. It can be invoked and like shaped through these specific rituals. I mean, fuck. I'll talk about it later, but it's literally like Austin Osman Spare,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of the fathers of chaos magic. There's this story that one of his apprentices, not even apprentice, because both people there fucking went mad when they saw it, but he like summoned in an air elemental, and it in this like confined space with two other people, and it was this like very large thing that started to take shape, and they describe it as like they can see. Almost like in like with a tornado where like the wind has this like you start to see it. You start to like see it, right? It kind of had that effect, but it was like forming like hands, and they could see like the way the fingers were forming, and they could see like the nail beds. It was like weird.
Yeah.
And it was like this giant elemental like spirit that he like at least halfway summoned in, and then I don't know. It said that both the apprentices that were watching him went absolutely mad.
Yeah, because what the fuck is this?
Yeah. But talking about like directing and shit, like that is like as direct as it gets. And these elements, I know it's like, I understand fire, water, earth, air aren't like on the elemental table. We're talking about like Gaia type elements, like ancient primordial forces that just seem to be
like life force elements.
Not
you know what I mean?
necessarily, like alive on their own, but very close to. Elementals have such a weird space where it's like they are alive, but they're living on such large time scales. It's like they're just as old as the earth, and they don't respond necessarily to like the asks of like
it's like
the everyday man.
Trees and rocks are alive, but it's like and have like a vibration, but you don't really like feel that. Unless you can really connect with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to do a lot. I mean, the most you really hear about like elementals is when you hear about like them doing like fracking on mountains.
Yeah,
they'll blast. Like they'll have like a specific rock that they see like just break in half, and shit will just start going so bad so fast.
Yep.
It's like they just woke something up. Like they did enough. Like they fucked
you've
with the
angered the
environment.
mountain.
Yes, you did enough to anger the mountain, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why like okay, Austin Osman Spare was able to do it because he spent his whole life in this like chaos magic study and was able to halfway summon something in, probably like still badly. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
reality of it. But it's like he was able to have enough energy to at least like make a contact with these things.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are like younger forces at play too. They're not just these old elemental things. I think we have like air spirits and little like fae type things that are still a little younger, obviously still ancient, but there are things like you can try to connect with that are a little more probably connectable, like able to when we see these like shamans just dealing with like base element shit, like weaving the clouds how they want to. That's a very strong connection that I feel like you're not gonna get very easily.
That's the shaman too. They're like, because like being a shaman, you're like 1 foot in the spirit realm, 1 foot in the real world. So they're almost like at like a deity, like hybrid at that point.
Well,
you know what I mean? They're
you're like the holy fool, right?
Yeah, they're like spirit touched,
it's
where
that
they're
sacred
like
clown thing.
They like have that like permission to do that.
Yeah, all they know, like they have just enough perception to know that they know nothing, right?
Yeah.
It's like you become this like fool, and like you can only hope to have that.
Like,
much
well, I
knowledge.
gotta get these clouds in the right spot.
Only hope, yeah. It's like
Just the Austin Spare thing too. I feel like because it's like I don't know like if like he was summoning like something that already was just like was somewhere else, or if it's just like creating.
Pulling this matter together,
something, you know what I mean? Like creating like a homunculi air elemental kind of a thing.
It could be that way too. Yeah.
And then
talking about monsters, and all of a sudden the dog rocks the door behind me. Well, so I mean, I think that's a great little talking point though. Is like just dealing with these like Leviathan class like deity level monsters. It's like we will talk about like how to do like more stuff for just yourself and just some other like lower level deities to maybe try to connect with, because I think sometimes it is, if you're trying to make these connections and like deal with this energy, it is easier to find smaller scale things first to like test
that's
the
like
waters
when
with.
you like instead of trying to like control the clouds, you're like, hey, go like talk to a tree. Go like try to like move something like a tissue paper or something with like the air, your own like air, you know. Gotta start small. You can't like, you know, move mountains on your first try.
And it will be, I think that feeling of like, you put a piece of like tin foil on the thing, and you do like, you hit it with an actual, like you do a forceful enough movement to like actually push that air, and it's a physical thing, right? And I think that's like just to gain the feeling of what that is, and I think you start to pull that back, it's and like, you use less physical force and more of like a spiritual. Like,
it's like once you get the feel for it, it like clicks. You know what I mean? Like it's like when you're like trying to like learn like an instrument, and you kind of like clicks like the rhythm of it, and you're like, oh, there it is. Like that's the feeling I'm trying to get. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, there it is. Like,
but it is. I think it's okay to just straight up actually try to push something with like the air, like do that, like to just feel what that feels like,
and like trying to like feel and like charge that, like feel that feeling coming from your hand when you do that, and be like, all right, we're gonna try to like 1% you know what I mean, 1% more.
Meditate on that for a while. I really think there's something there,
and like putting your hands together too, like this, like and like charging that, like that's there's something to it, because you like you don't have to like do like the praying, you can like kind of go like this or whatever, like, but like putting the palms together, you can like feel that
it completes a circuit
energy, right? Because your palms are like that's like the stigmata, like that's like why that's so powerful, because that's like where this energy comes from. Same with your feet, so you gotta like ground your feet, feel that like power in your hands, and like
that was in the walk
you
through
immediately
walls
feel it, and like
those are like secondary chakra points. It was marking the feet and the hands as it's this, and then
that's why like when you like meditate too or like pray, you like hold your hands out so you can like take in more energy. And if you're trying to like get rid of like negative thoughts, you like point it down,
you push it
so
out,
it like
you can
falls out of you.
Breathe it out.
Or, you know, like you mix it up, you like charge it up, like whatever you're looking for. There's like different.
God, I hope we don't.
And I feel like it's more intuitive. Like there's probably like rules and stuff you can like, or like guidelines to it. But I feel like if you just go about it intuitively, you're gonna like figure your own system out. That's what I've always found works, because like, you know, you always look up like how to like charge like a chi blast, and it's like you try to do it, it's not necessarily gonna work. But like if you just try to like do your own thing, I might have more success. We
implore listeners to go do this goofy stuff.
Yeah, please try to chi blast something.
In Hindu mysticism, air
Don't
is
hurt people,
associated
though.
with the Anahata chakra, as we said, that's located at the center of the chest. The Anahata meaning unstuck or unhurt. It is often seen as a bridge between the lower 3 chakras associated with survival, desire, and power, where the upper 3 chakras connect to wisdom, insight, and transcendence. The Anahata chakra governs love, compassion, and balance, and is ruled by the element of air. Its pranic current is called Vyana, and it's the circulating life force that governs motion, blood flow, and harmony throughout the body, right? It is... I guess we said it already, but it's that like taking energy in and pushing it out, and there's like to gain even this like levitation status of things, like actually raising up. I think it is literally like exhaling that which like burdens you to the point where you. I mean, the word is enlightened, like becoming lighter. Yeah. I think at some point you just get so enlightened that you just like start lifting off the fucking earth. Yeah. Like it's
you
not
can just control like
sometimes words are hidden like that. Like just it's very plainly like I think that's just what it means. Like your spirit becomes lighter at some point. That shit's gonna
become
start
less dense. You know what I mean?
Off. Yeah.
So you know when someone's like dumb, like oh they're dense, but it's like, I don't know.
We have so in 1983, a classified U.S. Army document titled "The Gateway Process" was released by the Freedom of Information Act. It was a collaboration with the Monroe Institute, which we gotta check on.
Yeah.
Exploring how sound frequencies, meditation, and breathwork could induce altered states of consciousness. The report describes the human body as a bioenergetic system and the chakras as rotating vortices that could be entrained using breath and sound. Right? So you're like training your chakras to move this way. It's a good way of saying it. Of particular interest was the heart chakra, seen as the central stabilizer and amplifier of coherent energy. The report stated that that intentional breathing practices could shift brainwave states, enable astral projection, and alter physical experience. These concepts find resonance in modern breathwork techniques like this yogic pranayama stuff. The tumo, which is practiced by Tibetan monks, uses breath to generate internal heat, allowing practitioners to survive in extreme cold and melt snow and stuff. We talked about that with spontaneous human combustion. Obviously, also it is important to note that like we said, these chakras all kind of have to work together. Yeah. No elemental sign is like off completely on its own. Like fire needs air to breathe. Like you need air. Like they all work in this system. But it is cool. They're using this breath work to literally they just change their body temperature.
Yeah. Like they where they can like they'll be in the snow and like dry wet towels on them from their heat. Just fucking crazy. It is crazy.
No, it is. It's just that's like where I'm like, oh, this stuff work. Like this stuff is
like
real.
There's like people doing it. That's like the monk that like started that piece of paper on fire and stuff too. It's like these guys like know
there's people doing
They're
it.
keeping it like secret though, because obviously that can be used terribly.
Yeah, I don't want a bunch of superheroes, fucking supervillains.
You started training soldiers and that shit and to like go like invade.
And then I know they're doing that already, but it's like
really don't need like I don't need like petty criminals like starting fucking throwing fire blasts at me, rob me. You know what I mean?
Right. But it's like so we have the Wim Hof method that is it's scientifically studied, but it combines hyperventilation, cold exposure, and meditation, and it influences straight up like immune response. It changes your pain tolerance, and obviously it changes your mood along with that. But that's all based on your breath. Like,
well, Wim Hof, he hikes in the snow barefoot in like his underwear, and it's just chilling because he just knows how to. He just tapped into it. You know what I mean? It's like,
he's bringing that air in. He's bringing
and like
the fire
people have
in.
like I know people who've like practiced it, and they're like because they'll do it for like cold plunges, and it's like you like can feel it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Damn. Like such
so hard though,
over
like
the physical form.
Because like go try to take a cold shower, not even like ice cold water. You're like
it just sucks.
You like can't breathe. If you can manage how to like breathe through that, you're gonna be fine. But dude, you just can't.
Like shows me how much of a fucking wimp I am. Sometimes.
Yeah, no, dude.
I'm just turning down to like a little bit less.
Yeah.
Like,
it's me.
Oh man,
like just not quite warm.
It's crazy to put it on. Try to take a cold shower is the hardest thing.
Oh my god,
dude, what is that?
Fucking brutal, dude.
But it's like all this mastery of like your mortal coil. It is so interesting. Like to like know that there's like this like spiritual force that kind of is residing in you, but then you have this like carcass you need to deal with, and like its base settings that kind of suck.
Yeah,
like,
your vessel ready.
You need to like mod it a little bit, like the fucking base game is a little bit.
you get your character. It's pretty much like you got no levels on anything.
Like
then your whole life is just like, all right, I gotta start training. That's pretty much your whole life then. It's like, oh, I gotta keep training so I can like fucking level up again.
Breathwork that literally changes your pain tolerance.
Yeah.
And like, what are the implications of that? Like, if that's like, that seems like still like a low level like thing to find out, sort of like what could you build off of that? Like, you're just gonna build someone that can't fucking feel pain and fucking can fly. And
I mean, it helps like getting tattooed. I like it, dude, especially on the back. It hurts so bad. All I can do is try to just breathe, and that's the only thing that keeps the pain from like killing me. I'm sure if I just like practice a certain breathing technique, wouldn't even bother me.
Wim Hof.
Yeah.
I imagine that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about levitation. It's been reported across spiritual traditions all over the fucking place. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jesus was flying in the end there.
He rode like a cloud.
Yeah.
Basically did like a Goku on the Nimbus cloud into the heavens.
Saint Joseph of Cupertino, multiple witnesses saw him levitating during prayer. He had to literally move to new monasteries to avoid disruption. Like, so often. He's like,
people were like, what
he would
the
just
fuck?
hit that prayer level so hard that he just starts levitating, and then you get a crowd, and it's like, well, I can't
focus anymore.
Yeah, this
guys.
is like,
You're
it's the same with
not gonna sign
like
your Bible.
Like when exactly like Saint Anthony was trying to, before he started like his whole monk process, and he was like,
he was trying to just get away.
He was trying to get away because people they are drawn to it. When you have this like level of enlightenment, you are magnetic. You
What's
become
that like?
This thing that people flock to because they feel a better energy around you.
Well, that's like because we can all probably like relate to that like being like really like having that like empath thing that people say. I think people say like empath, but I think it's like more than just like you're feeling people's emotions and they're like drawn to that. It's like you're like giving off this like vibe that like helps people, and you can like you're like in tune with them more too. They're in tune with like your awesome vibe, and then they come around you, and they like you can just feel theirs so much, even if you're not like talking to them. That like if you're trying to like focus and like advance in this like spiritual like knowledge and like
you're gonna absorb
strength,
so much of their energy.
You're gonna be like getting really distracted just by them being like noticing you.
Yeah, that's why you got to go full hermit.
That's why going to a cave, you're like, oh, finally.
It's like I want to have
finally.
everybody.
I can only have like me and God.
Yeah, it's like you want to have everybody, but really like. Realistically, I can't like y'all are gonna just bring me like y'all are gonna like sap me too much.
Yeah,
like is what their thoughts are. It's like you need to go somewhere where flying isn't the big fucking deal.
yeah. Where like no one's gonna be like, yo, this guy's flying. We gotta like what the hell.
Saint Teresa of Avila reported reported involuntary lifting during spiritual ecstasy.
Whoa.
Okay. Nice.
Hot.
It also makes me think of like phantasm shit where you're like lifting off the like exorcism, like where you're like lifting off the bed and shit. Milarepa in Tibet, were said to fly across valleys. Here we go.
Yeah.
Achieved through aestheticism and breath control. Okay, we need to look more about. Can you just look up Milarepa really quick? Milarepa. I just want to know. Milarepa. Tibet. Because, yes, they're set to fly across valleys. So that's what we're looking for. I just said, I don't know if anybody's flying. We do have at least a couple people that definitely are flying across valleys. And then there's yogic traditions that recognize siddhi powers like lightness. It's called ligama, but it's lightness that are results of spiritual practice, right? So it is that enlightenment through spiritual like practices there. Anything on that, Dawes?
Finding some of his life, though. He's an interesting guy.
It's just a dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just do like a full episode on him then. We'll figure out how he flies.
we'll find into more. Yeah. But it seems very similar to these other like Christian like saints where they just like have like kind of have like a weird life, end up just like fucking off go into the mountain and become like these like poets and fucking spiritual teachers, basically.
Yeah. Damn.
Like the one thing I read is he was pretty big on these like intense spiritual retreats and like solitude.
Well, yeah, he's got to. Yeah, if he's like to keep yourself, like it'd be
Like-
once you achieve that level where you're literally like flying across valleys, that must be very fucking scary. Like, I mean, I guess like you wouldn't think about it. I guess you'd like have like ways to like channel that, but you wouldn't want to like lose that lightness like halfway through the flight. Like you might just go tumbling down. Like one like poisonous thought or one like bad energy beneath you might like bring you down. Like you might go fucking flying out there.
Yeah, you don't want to lose
Tossing
it.
down. There's also
You want to stay flying.
it's more like kind of fringy stuff with the like what is gravity about like about like torsion fields. You hear about this shit at all?
What? I've heard that before.
Torsion field theory posits spinning energy fields that can influence gravitational interaction, used to suggest that human intention and resonance might override normal physics.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like the torsion field,
Yeah,
basically just like that spinning energy field that you're creating through your fucking chakra vortices, right? That's just gonna override physics. That's gonna like at the quantum level, it's gonna do something. It's gonna like open it up too much. Yeah. That's kind of sick.
It's like change it. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. It's just gonna like it's like. Well, I guess we really didn't know everything.
Mm-hmm. No, we
Like
don't.
we have like ideas on like what physics is and shit, but it's like, bro, there's a will, there's a way. There's definitely people like just messing with that.
Getting way torsioned.
Well, that's like that gives you like these like the weird like tic tac like UFO things that like don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going in and out of water without displacing water, or like slowing down. Even it's like, well, they're like outside of like our fucking like our like box of what physics is.
Yeah, of what our reality.
They like step out of it and they're like still here, but they're like stepping out of like the rules of what we think. It's like if you like hack a video game, you know what I mean?
You're
And all of a sudden
no-clipping,
you're flying
you go
around,
God mode,
going in and out of like walls and shit. It's like, well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Like, it makes sense.
You got out. You like jailbroke the fucking game.
You clip out of the normal frequencies. Then I know y'all like this
Bugging
one
out
talking
the
about
game.
like acoustic levitation, Dawson.
Yeah.
Using concentrated sound waves to suspend. At this point, small objects. There's real laboratory techniques that have been used to show that this is possible. It obviously, I think me and Dawson land on the like possible like pyramids being made out of this. Like
a lot of those like
cultures
ancient things where it's like super precise, like
sound
slicing. Yeah.
To like vibrational sound tech, to like move.
There's
things.
like those like temples carved into like giant rock or like cliff sides, and it's like so intricate. It's like, bro, that was a frequency that did that. Because there's not even like the like slice marks are like perfectly polished. It's like that would take 1,000 years to make that, and to like move those big stones and like, yeah, dude.
We have the Sami people of northern Scandinavia. These tribal shaman were said to control the wind. Sailors would buy these like cords that they made, tied with 3 knots. Untying one knot would release a gentle breeze. The second would summon a greater gust, and then the third would bring a storm.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking sick. These cords weren't symbolic. They were fucking feared.
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit, he's got the like, one is like, it's like the wind wick. You're like, you got one, like you're good. Like, don't do all 3. And some of the legends, the shaman and the wind were indistinguishable. Shamans and the wind, which means that they seem like they're these entities that are stepping in and out of like that space. Like we've talked about these things that are living out in this that you just can't see.
That's where the wind comes from.
They're moving in and out of that, dude. The shaman and the wind are indistinguishable.
Like there's an old man in the forest that like makes the wind.
Yeah, and you can buy 3 knots from him if you want.
Yeah.
Like how powerful? That's an insane like. That's so sick. They're just making like these spiritually tuned items. And we've talked about that, like how you can do that. If you have a vibration high enough, like anything you touch, like we already went over, will enter that state of being with you.
You like put these like blessing or curse or whatever on it, and it's like,
if they're
all right, this is what this does. So like,
if these shamans are working with that intent, and
do
it's like
your thing with it.
There's these Hindu stories of that bag of wind. There's this is like a common thread. It seems like you can just work with this shit.
Yeah.
And
so I think too, like part of it too is like, okay, so you have the shaman, and the shaman is like, what they say is like, you don't take it lightly. Like you believe them. So if they give you something and you believe, and everyone else is believing that this is gonna like be like, gives you these knots, and he like tells you like the rules with them, and you believe that like hard enough, like it might have an effect on like your whole reality, like everyone's
definitely.
reality.
That's that torsion field.
Yeah. So like you give someone like a bag and like there's wind in this, and you're like, this holy person, this fucking enlightened being gave me this thing that's like got wind in it. Then like you're kind of charging it at that same time. Then you know, and then like when you release it, your own like perception like brings it into this like belief, reality, torsion field, whatever.
I think that is true. I think that doesn't hurt it. I do want to say that I think these objects could work without the user even giving a shit, because so many cursed items do that, where it's like you get a hold of it, you don't think shit of it, then all of a sudden your whole life is fucked up. Because honestly, it's like it's just so powerfully like enchanted, right? And I think obviously like you'd give it like a buff, I guess I'd call it, if you also had that like belief, like it would stack. It'd be like a stacking fucking roll or whatever. But I think even just on its own, I'm thinking of things like, for some reason I'm thinking of like the Dybbuk box, which is this like old Jewish like basically like a cursed item, like a box that holds a demon. And it's like people that are very much not Jewish have had experiences with these things where it's like, oh, like something's in there, like something's living in that, like for real. Like, so I do want to like I think there is like something to say about that. It's like very Eighth Tower kind of.
Because I do know too, sometimes people like you have one of those things and like maybe you like, if you like don't believe in it, or like even know about it, you like don't notice it either.
You also just maybe
you just it just kind of flies over your head. Where you're like, oh, but yeah, I got this like new thing, and all these bad things started happening to me. And it's like, I don't know. And then they get rid of it. They just like don't put the connection. I don't know.
Yeah. In Mongo, so I like that. This like knot is so powerful. It's literally a rope with 3 knots. People are just like terrified of it because it's like, well, 1, you're gonna have a good sailing day. Like 3 of those things, we're gonna sink. Like the ship is gonna go down, right?
Yeah,
like the storm.
It's gonna fuck everybody up.
In Mongolian and Siberian traditions, shamans use feathered staffs, rhythmic chants, and trance states to call or calm the wind. They would perform rituals on top of hills, believing them to be like natural altars between the sky and the earth.
Hell yeah!
It's like that mountain peak is like that liminal space between things.
Yeah,
I like that natural altar
into the heavens. You know what I mean?
The wind again, it's not seen as this passive force. It's seen as a conscious thing.
You also, I mean, you go to the top of a hill too. Like it's always windy at the top of a hill. That's like the windiest spot.
So when they go up there, and then they channel it, and then it goes calm, it's like, oh shit, like you're connecting on something. Yeah. And you also just have such a good like vantage point. I feel like your just perception points go up at that point. You can react with larger things.
Much closer to the sun. You're up there, like going up on a hill. It's in every religion.
We've talked about like
like pray and shit.
These like monks in the Himalayas. I'm pretty sure they're just like holding down the world right now. Like I'm pretty sure they're just like their aura is so fucking thick on top of those mountains. It's just like it's going over half the planet. Like, someone else is in South America doing it. It's like they're the only ones keeping this fucking shit safe right now.
We got like the interface, the like fucking spiritual interface. Like,
and nobody could ever know about them because they'd like drop in too many spirit points at that point. So they're just probably just living forever. At some point, you just turn into dust, and like you just you just become one of the spirits.
You just turn to air, like a fucking Jedi.
And Hopi and Navajo, like medicinal practices, we have wind whistles, eagle feathers, and sacred dances that are used to communicate with air spirits. They often then tie to rain making and clearing of illnesses. The wind is seen as a healer, but also a healer when honored, but a destroyer when ignored. That kind of thing. It's like you want to keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Let's see. One quote from Austin Osman Spare during that like thing when he was like summoning this thing, he says, "The breath of God is not for all lungs." Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, dude.
This like he speaks of this like the volatile intelligence of air.
Yeah,
it's like force that just will like overwhelm the shit out of you if you're not prepared, because it's just everything. It's just like your entire life force.
Yeah,
and it's everything that is like unseen, basically. Like everything in front of you is like
what we live in.
This stuff. Yeah,
it's like how fish like live in water. It's like what we live in nothing. Nah, there's so much, dude. So much in here right now. So much air in here.
And oh shit. And Honestly, a lot of this connects to, not a lot of it. It gets into organ energy at some point, this like universal life force that seems to be flowing through everything, which I guess we would just say is a different type of energy or just a different name for a similar energy, right? But it's like this guy, the same guy that like coined organ energy, Wilhelm Reich, the psychoanalyst. He also develops the fucking Cloudbuster. Like he's so like
it's like a Reich machine or something
to like create and dissipate clouds.
He made something else that was like a hits you with like a frequency and a vibration or something.
I'm sure
that like cures cancer. It like blasts the fucking cancer and just kills it.
So he used I think
it's the same guy.
Yeah, I think so. Because he used his Cloudbursting device.
Tapped the fuck in.
He straight up in the 50s he was combating droughts and had like success in localized rainmaking. He also he thought he was being monitored by ETs, and he claimed that his device could repel UFOs. That's saying like cloud it would also like repel UFOs. Eventually, the U.S. government seized and burned his equipment and writings, or at least they say they burned it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just this weaponizing the breath of the earth.
Just took him, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Today we have like that project can be seen in HARP, Project Popeye, and others. This weather manipulation that is not folklore. It's like
just
military.
What's happening?
It's like a military device now.
Like you can just like look it up and read it, like because you drew it with like AI and it's gonna tell you the conspiracy theory, but it's like, bro, they just have the recipes, they have the fucking shit. There's the machines. There's people that work on the machines that talk about it.
Yep. It's like in the 50s, we had a guy developed it solo. They seized his stuff. Then all of a sudden, we have all these projects about it.
Yeah.
I don't think they burned his shit. I think that they probably copied
No,
it.
they grabbed it and they're like, you can't have this.
Someone definitely was looking at
they
that. They
stole it from him.
I just want to talk about some more air like deities and wind spirits that aren't just straight up like wind as an elemental. So like if y'all were trying to connect in any kind of ritual, like we have Hermes, messenger, and soul guide. You know what I mean? That's some Greek shit. We have the Tengu in Japan. These are bird-like spirits linked to mountain wind. We have Odin, pretty big guy, you know, associated with breath, madness, storms, leads the wild hunt. Other ones, Aeolus, which is a Greek keeper of directional winds. Boreas, Zephyrus. We also have like south wind, north wind, west wind, east wind kind of gods. I think if you all work in like a specific pantheon for your magics, I just go ahead and look for the one that you can work with there. And then go up from there. Like it's always best to start with a low level thing and see if they can help you reach a like a higher thing. It's if you're trying to go straight up to like the air elemental or some kind of air homunculi, like Dawson was positing, like you're gonna end up like going mad. Like you'll end up going mad.
You gotta, you can't go into the gym and bench 250 your first day in the gym. You gotta work up.
No, or
you gotta
you'll
go
fucking
some
die.
light weights,
Or the
but
weight
you'll
will
literally
crash
hurt
into you,
yourself.
Yeah.
Not gonna be good.
And
also, having a spotter helps.
In Islamic theology, so I mentioned this, but like all jinn are created from smokeless fire. That's the origins that distinguish them from humans who are made out of clay and angels who are created from light. However, we have this jinn functioning as like categories by different elements, right? So they're called the Jann. Jann. They're considered among the earliest forms of jinn because we remember I said there's like the jinn, the hin, the Jann. They seem to be
jinn,
even,
the Jann, the Djinn.
They are known to inhabit desert ruins and open air spaces. So when these desert fathers, I think those are the ones that they're connected to. These very early spirits. They don't have as much say as like a full like elemental form, but they rule over this specific spot. Right? They're associated with like wind, sandstorms, sky movement. Sometimes depicted as shapeshifters and serpents. Or like these whirlwind entities, and they're basically like neutral. They're more inclined to interact with humans without hostility than some of these other like forms of jinn or like these ancient spirits. And they also one of these things is like the ability to carry messages over spaces, like move rapidly, like to like send these like through the wind, like wind talking, right, like speaking through this thing. I just think that's kind of sick. We also there's also fire lined ones, water lined, earth different things for like jinn. There's also something called the shaitan, which are not elementally aligned at all, but they're referred to as like rebellious jinn. I believe that they're the ones that they are, and actually those ones specifically are the ones that refuse to bow to Adam in the Quran. Like, because that's what it is. It's like Adam and Eve. Like, there's like this whole pre-Adamic world of like spirits and things living in like kind of this halfway point. It's like liminal Earth, and then I guess Adam shows up and he's kind of given reign over everything, like nature as it is. But there's already these things there.
He gets to name all the creatures.
Like some of them, and it's like he names all the creatures, but it's like some of them already had names. Some of them already like had a fair amount of power. Some of them were essentially like angels or just like these deep elementals, and they just weren't gonna like.
Well, that's like that's the thing with like Lucifer and the fallen angels and stuff. Is like they like saw God loves Adam, and he's in man, and he's like, what? Dude, he's like, we've been here, man. What? And then like. It's like you like created this new thing. It's like, well, I'm way sicker than that guy. Yeah, I'm way cooler than that. I'm almost as cool as you. And that's like where that rift comes from. You know what I mean? It's like, damn.
The smokeless fire seems to know their place. At least they were like,
interesting.
So let's talk about what about like indoor gusts of wind, fucking pressure changes like that, like air movement preceding like poltergeist events and stuff. Do we want to talk about anything like
the cold wind when like ghosts are around?
Yeah, I feel like that's almost in the same vein as what we're talking about with the Djinn. There's like different spirits from, I guess, different times. They don't have to all be ancient, right? They can be from different times throughout whatever. I don't know if it's all just like 1800s dudes, just fucking whatever
it is. Yeah.
But there's like these reports of. And like with the UFO stuff, is like all this like vacuum like effect that seemed to happen. It is weird that device that seemed to that could repel UFOs that the government took. That seems weird.
Yeah, especially when you like see the UFOs like deactivating like missiles and shit, like being interested in like nuclear like warheads. It's like, all right, well, let's just get the machine going that
stops them from stopping.
Gets them out of our gets them out of our fucking face. Like, what?
It's like crazy. This like
it's bizarre.
Barometric changes in pressure that are observed in like haunted locations specifically. I just think there's like this pressure. Wind is like an ancient fucking thing. This air spirit stuff is.
It's so like bizarre. Like I don't know. It's easy to be like all Mr. Smarty Pants and be like, all right, the wind's from the. The pressure changes in like the fucking stratosphere and fucking wind and the rain and the sun and this and that. It's like, bro, this shit's been wind though. The wind though, it's coming from something else. There's more to the wind, man.
We have some like classic
everything
poltergeist cases where it's gusts of wind are described to precede a lot of these haunting events, like straight up furniture moving. In the Bell Witch case, there's literally a kid that gets lifted up on a chair and he gets like thrown off the chair, and there's like a bunch of police in the room and they like all see it. It's like in the police reports, they're like the kid he could not sit down. It was like every time he sat down, fucking the chair lifts up and throws him off. It's like I guess that has to. I guess if we're saying all that stuff is the same thing or like something in that realm, right? That's fucking fucked up. Even like straight up like when candles fucking flicker in a ritual, that kind of stuff is. There's like these fields, these conditions that seem to be present that you can. Yes, it's like you change it. I guess it's called the fucking like this torsion field stuff where you are changing the events of this stuff. How are we feeling over there?
Fucking good.
I think
chilling, man.
I think we've spoken a lot about air today.
I want to know what wind is.
Where does it come from? We're further away from the truth than ever. Just real quick before we kind of close out in a minute here, for any people that want to practice this stuff, we kind of went over some things you can use. Feathers are great for like dealing with it, especially like directional movement. Bells and chimes, we talked about like sound and movement before. Bells in general seem to be very cleansing of the space. Incense and smoke. So we talked about like the Navajo culture when they have these burial like they'll like burn the body. They'll have like somebody from the community, usually a shaman, there watching as the smoke rises, because they're like the smoke like is, they need to follow it up to like that's where they like where they end up, that's where they go. I think that's like something that there's something to be said there, right? And then like wands in general are like a wind type of magic. I think that's
Just
important.
direction.
Yeah, just directional stuff. You can just find. You don't have to find like a crazy. You don't have to go buy one. You can just go find like basically a stick,
Just anything.
as long as you believe in it.
Yeah, I
Right.
think so.
Um,
I think you can imprint enough meaning on something.
The
And then, like,
direction.
if you
yeah.
if you find something and that's like what you want to have as like a wand or something, then it's like you're gonna like deck it out
It's
and
gonna
put
take
things on
that,
it, and,
like-
like you know, give it character and stuff to like make it yours. You know,
You have
what I
to
mean?
enchant it, right? Yeah, you have to give it that energy, just like we're
Put your
saying. These
charms
shamans
on
would
it.
charge these knots and stuff. Like you
Yeah.
need to. It's gonna be a low level charge, I guess, unless you're really fucking good at it. But I think you can offer that to it and give some type of attention to it, right? Also, like facing east, that's like the alignment of air. Like each of them has their own thing.
Yeah.
East, it's like straight up like sigil whispering, like just like speaking spells, right? Just like speaking these things out into existence, just getting them out into the air. Because as we said, there are things out in fucking right in front of your
Yeah.
face that can hear that shit and
yeah.
work with it, right? Empty bowls can be used. Feathers, bells, incense, candles, anything burnable, just so you get that smoke going. And basically any like ritual that would aim to like invite is good for like wind, like stuff that would be like you're bringing it in. At the same time, if you want to expel stuff, you can move. It's like that. Like it's a very active.
Breathe
magic.
in good,
Yes.
exhale bad.
It's an active magic, and like you can get stuff done pretty fast with that because it's literally like if you're focusing every breath on that, it's like you're gonna get a lot of breaths in a day. If you can,
I mean, even if you just sit and just take like 10 good breaths, you're gonna like feel like tingly. Feel good.
So
Great.
Yeah, you really will. I think it's easy to like forget about it. It's literally like an unseen force. You can be like,
Yeah.
it's easier to get burned by fire or fucking like hydrated from water and stuff. And those are like these forces that you can kind of see in your everyday life. But breath is literally there even more often. It's just so
breath and
there
the
that you
wind
are
is-
unconscious about it. Like you're not even thinking
Yeah.
about it. It's just that's how much it is. It matters.
I mean,
to
the
you.
air, you're like surrounded in air. You don't realize like how immersed in it you actually are. It's like a
So-
fish in water, you know? Fish probably doesn't think about how it's in water that much.
And how many fucking water spirits are around it at that time.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. I think we're at a good point though. I think we talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. There's more. Obviously there's always more, but we'll get to it when we get to it. The elemental
never
stuff will
stop.
continue. I did want to just cover all this stuff. I think that it's like important to see that, I think this breaking down how gravity doesn't even always make sense is a good like threshold like point
The
in this
heck's
magic.
going on with
And, like,
gravity? What the heck's going on with the wind? I don't know.
this
I
has
don't
been
think
great.
anyone really knows, man.
I've had a good time talking about it though. It was
Yeah.
good to study. I like finding all this weird stuff. I do recommend. I think everybody should create like an altar to the wind or an altar to air, and just put some of these things
Yeah.
on there. I think honestly, creating like 4 separate altars in your house for like the different elements. If you're going that way with it, it would be kind of sick. You could probably get a lot done that way, and like at least be very mindful about everything. But that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say to
Yeah.
that. Anything else on the?
Also, create altars in your mind.
Yes, you don't need altars
Start
anywhere
there.
but in your mind. Also,
Because, you know,
I
a lot of these like magical people, they didn't have like the material
no
things. They were just like sitting in a cave.
Yeah, they're like we go to the natural
Like, I
altar
gotta
on
get rid of my shit.
top of the mountain. It's a natural altar, right?
Yeah. Because like once you start getting like altars made, like it's not like a bad thing. It's definitely gonna work. But like, you start looking at that, and all of a sudden you're just like consuming shit.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to just go buy a bunch of random shit
Yeah,
and put it
just
there.
buy it, you're just
And
like,
you
all
don't want to be too materialistic
Yeah,
about
yeah.
anything, but it's okay to
Anything
have
works too. Like your kitchen
items-
table can be an altar. Like
Yeah,
your countertop, Like
it's mostly just like about having an item
Your
or two
nightstand.
for something to inhabit while you're
Yep.
working with it, and you can use your mind for that. That does get a little dodgy with like what kind of spirits you're inviting in.
Yeah.
But you're super right about like creating that altar in your mind, dog. That's an entirely different like pod episode, I think. But
Yeah.
for the Red Temple Grimoire that I'm making, there's a whole section in the book I'm writing where it's like you're creating the temple in
Yeah.
your mind and you step in there. And then I even have this
Then you have it.
like reaching out to other people while you're in that mind palace, right? But that's a different episode. That's a different time. Doss,
yeah, it's good shit though.
thanks for being here with me, Doss. This has been
Yeah,
good.
always.
I've been Travis
Hell yeah.
Wormwood. That's Dawson Trailer. Check out the Patreon. We got bonus
The
episodes every week over there. It's $5 a month or free if you wanted to sign. There's still some good stuff on just the free tier.
$5.
But $5 you get even more content. If you want to hear how we started
Totally
out,
worth it.
when you want to hear our choppy start, the first 18 episodes
Yeah.
are behind the Patreon. I would never want them in the public eye, but I think it's important to go see where we started.
Yeah.
Rate and review
Check
us
it out.
wherever you
It's good
can.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff.
Check the video. Hopefully y'all are watching the Apollo landings that we got here. We'll debunk these at some point.
Yeah.
The thing that said live from the moon was very funny.
Yeah.
So check the Patreon, patreon.com/pumpkinhillradio. You can find all of our socials, our daily clips get posted on all the medias. Pumpkinhillradio.com. Pumpkinhillradio.com is how you find that. Go give that a listen. Pumpkinhillradio@gmail.com. You can send us your stories. I think that's basically it. Check out, or in the one of the description boxes below, it is a link to go help the GoFundMe for Night Cook, the film that I've been working on. So that'll be moving. I'll probably shout that out for the next couple weeks. Check that out if you can, if you feel like donating a little extra after you already, hang out in the Patreon for a little while. All kinds of stuff happening here. Big movements.
Do it.
This has been Pumpkin Hill Radio.
Do it.
Bye.
Bye. I love you. Bye. Do it.